and I'm going to call them out. I'm going to tell them, hey guys, we're here on the live. It's Allegra the Marketing Medulla. I'm here with TeeCee. We are here just bringing back the live of Effortless Marketing, creating lead magnets. We want you all to be very informed on how to do this in your business. This is the first part of your business. This is where you have to take your audience seriously because they're already asking for things that they need from you. And in order to be able to provide these things, you have to have some level of a lead generation tool. We call them lead magnets. And so I want to talk about this today because myself and TeeCee were just going over some things from our live earlier today. And when we went live, we had some information, just like sharing some information about what it looks like when we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. Y'all better leave me alone. What it looks like to, really, I don't know what's going on, y'all, but it's giving me trouble on the Facebook. So maybe y'all can't hear me on there. Let me see if I can change that right now because they did let me do that before.
Facebook group? Is it a Facebook group?
No, this one is on the Facebook on my page, on my side. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me see if I can just disconnect it because it might not, because we're already on here, so it might just tell me, bump you. We're gonna do what we want to do, but I'm gonna try it anyway because that's what I do. So let's see. Let me see if I can link this to the group on Facebook. Save the changes. Look at that. We are live in the Facebook group. Okay. So TeeCee and I were just discussing because lead generation is necessary. You cannot run a business and expect people to come into the doors of your business with no level of lead generation. That means that people can't find you if you don't have lead generation tools. And so I was talking earlier about what I provide for my clients. Usually I start out with lots of resources in a database. One of those resources is a lead generation guide. It has 150 plus lead generation tools on there, right? And I was talking to TeeCee earlier, and she gave me an example. TeeCee, I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about that situation, but there's a lot of things that we experience as business coaches and business managers where we're working inside of your business, so we can see things that you do not see, and we experience a lot of just bad business. It's just bad business. And so what TeeCee was telling me just a while ago, I did a little bit of a research. So I want to do an example for y'all today. We're going to look into some real life businesses. I'm going to show you and demonstrate to you what I'm referring to when I say, when your lead generation tools are not generating, when they're not pulling people in like a lead magnet, you are missing money. You are leaving money on the table. And these are just great learning lessons because TeeCee had a story that she shared with me. And I want her to share it with you guys today because it was so just messy. It was very, very messy. And so I'm just going to start with the introduction. I'm Allegra, the Marketing Medulla, and I am a business coach and marketing strategist, entrepreneur for many years. I'm also a business analyst as well. And what I do is I support women entrepreneurs. Okay. I also support Black business owners because we do need a lot of support when it comes to building our businesses. And make sure that you have the opportunity to start, grow, and scale your business from the beginning. Have a sustainable business. Don't play around with that, because if you're really serious about business, you're going to want to grow that thing. You're going to want to pass it down to your generations after you. You're going to want to expand so that you can employ other people and change their lives too. And so when TeeCee was telling me this story earlier, I'm like, yeah, this is a problem, because in order for us to have sustainable businesses, we have to be honest with ourselves. And then we have to find the right tools and resources that help and support us and not actually put us in position where we're disempowered and we're spending money and wasting time. So TeeCee, go ahead and introduce yourself. And then I would love for you to just kind of share that story that you were telling me before we got on the live, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I would love to as well. Hey everyone, my name is TeeCee. I'm a launch and sales automation strategist. Basically, help you work less, make more money while you keep your mental health intact. And you know, processes like your lead generation, tools like your lead magnets, are basically an essential, right? When you want to start to create that consistent revenue so you're able to live the lifestyle that you deserve for yourself. Going with the really, we're having a conversation, right? And so I remembered something that happened between myself and a client. And somebody reached out to me. So she's not like a regular client. So she just reached out to me on Instagram and she's like, TC, I need lead generation. So that was what she said. That's how she put it. I need lead generation. And I'm like, lead generation? Okay. Do you know what that is? Do you know what it entails? And she's like, yes, I have a funnel coach. And I said, okay. Because, when anybody comes to me and they're like, they have this whole, I have a coach. I'm like, okay, let me hear what your coach says. Because for me, I feel like your coach should be the best person to give you direction. And I'm like, I'm concerned about what they are saying so that I'm able to help you implement whatever they're guiding you towards. And so I was interested and I'm like, a funnel coach, okay. Okay, all right. So what did the funnel coach say? Why are you meeting me to do it for you if you already have a funnel coach? Because I'm confused. What do I do? What do they do? Like, I don't get. And so she's like, well, this is what. So she said her funnel coach, in quotes, wanted her to do get lead magnet, create her lead magnet, create her lead capture, all of those things, right? And basically set it up. In my head, I'm like, if I'm going to help you do all of this, I wonder what your funnel coach is doing. But I didn't say anything. I was just, saying it in my head. And so I helped her set it up, obviously, because I don't like to give unsolicited advices and opinions. And so I just set it up. And when I delivered it to her, she was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Oh Lord. And I'm like, hey, test it before I offboard you, right? Test it because it's very important to me that you test it. Everything is working. Integrations are fine, which she did, and it was fine. And then 3 months down the line, getting somebody sending me a DM to say, oh, TC, the funnel you created didn't work. I'm like, that threw me off balance. And I'm like, didn't work. And I'm like, hey, I need to call you because this is strange. I never get this. So why? So I'm like, can I call you? And she's like, oh, I'm like, let me call you. I need to find out. And so I called her and I started asking questions. I said, do you still work with your funnel coach? And she's like, no, she stopped working with her. And I said, okay, so why do you think your funnel didn't work? And she's like, nobody signed up. And I said, okay, if nobody signed up, it has nothing to do with the funnel because the truth is it's a lead generation, right? For people to sign up, they need to see that that thing is available, right? I said, see, let me teach you something. I know you have a funnel coach, but let me just 30 minutes break this down for you because it's obvious that you don't understand. See, when you talk about lead generation, customer purchasing journey, it's a journey. Now, if people do not know that this thing is available, they would not click. Nobody would sign up. Now, you have to market it. You need to build that awareness on that thing. I keep talking, like Allegra keeps talking about her 150 lead magnet tools, lead magnet ideas she has. I keep talking about that is us promoting it. If we don't tell you these things are available, would you know? If you keep it, how am I supposed to know? And then she's like, but I put it in my bio. So what? If you don't tell us to go to your link in bio, see, these days, go to link in my bio doesn't work anymore because we are lazy. We want it easy. Tell us to comment on your DMs, your comment section. We'll comment, you give it to us like we want it fast, right? And so you're telling us we're already in your comment section and you're telling us go to your link in bio and do this and do that. Some of us, when we click on it, it's still not working, right? And so I said to her, I said, you know what? I'm not going to stop at schooling you. I'm not going to say I don't want to know who that person is, but I'm not going to stop at schooling you. I'm going to go for that. You know what? Send me. And this is like 3 months afterwards, which is basically after the project. So that should be none of my business. But I was interested because I needed her to understand. And so we got on a call and I did a thorough audit of her process. And the very funny part is that there was no single sign up. Why? because for some reason it was just in her bio, sitting pretty. She didn't market it, she didn't promote nothing. And I said to her, how is it going to work? See, your funnel is as good as something pretty. It's like you have a car and there is no gas, no fuel, no anything to let it run. It would sit pretty in your garage. Do you have a car? Yes. Is it working? Yes. Is it wasting? Did you just waste your hard-earned money on the car? Yes. At the end of the day, if you don't put certain things to work, it won't work. If you don't go into the car and drive the car, tell people, oh, I have a car, nobody would know because it's in your garage. So it's that simple. And when I was done with her, I said to her, well, the only thing I can do for you right now, right, is to create a marketing campaign that will blow up this, what's the name, this lead magnet. And that's extra cost. And she's like, oh, that's it. That's extra cost. Am I supposed to do it for free? And I said to her, I said, that's extra cost. She's like, oh, TeeCee, would it work? I said, as long as you're able to follow my lead and not tell me again you have a funnel coach. End
So
of
here's
conversation.
what I'm confused about though, TC, is because if I was to have a funnel coach, right, which basically includes to me in my mind a lead generating tool, which this is why we have to know who we hire. Because if I hire someone that helps me with lead generation or funnels, that is definitely going to be something I'm looking for. Like, how do I get someone down the funnel? Because a funnel, have you ever seen a funnel like a car funnel to put oil in a car? So it looks like a cone, right? And if you ever think about a cone, it's always really large at the top. And then it
Mhm.
starts to get really skinny going down, right? I teach this, and it's something that I think is really important for us to know and understand. Because if you don't have a lead generating tool or a lead magnet, is what we're saying. And what was her lead magnet? Was it just like a guide or something like that?
It was a checklist.
Okay, so a checklist, right? And I have, if y'all want the list of 150 plus lead generating tools and magnets, go ahead and DM me the word lead magnet, the phrase rather, lead magnet, and then I'll go ahead and send that out to you. Okay, that's a complimentary resource that I'll provide for you, because a lot of times we need great ideas. But if you have one lead magnet that's working for you, one thing I really find interesting is that if you don't work it, it won't work. And I think that we have to be taught that listen, we got to be taught these things. So when, someone says, okay, well, just set it up for me and it's just going to automatically work on its own, we know that that's not realistic. We know that that's not how it works. And when TeeCee told me this story, let me tell y'all what I did. So I went on Instagram and I said, well, I actually never met a funnel coach. So let me look one up. Okay. So I just real quick looked up a funnel coach. So I went on Instagram and this is what came up, right? Somebody that's a funnel coach, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Because if you're a funnel coach, you're definitely going to have a good lead generating tool, right? You're going to have a magnet in your bio, which most people say, I put it in my bio, right? So if I click on that, it should guide me somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And also, this is just me looking it up. If I never looked for a funnel coach, I would never, like, hashtags are lead generating tools too. Don't get that twisted, because I literally just looked it up, and because of this person and what they put in their SEO, it pulled them up, right? So now I'm at this page and I go to click on the link in the bio. This is the lead generating tool that they have. I go to click on the link, y'all. Okay. Look what comes up. What is that, TC? Like there was a problem loading this website, and it's not my phone. And
Mhm.
so if I were to go to, anybody, like, I'm gonna just pick somebody else, okay? Let's pick somebody else, okay? So this looks like a better one, right? So here's another one, funnel expert, right? Another one that I pulled up, right? And there's three links up here. So I get to actually have a choice. But here's another thing. There's content in here, right? There's things that's posted that I'm sure if I look at it, I'm gonna be like, okay, okay, interesting. I see what that is. And they're giving information as to how I could utilize whatever they're providing, right? So when I go click on this link, bold moves. Oh, this is in a whole nother language, y'all. But when I click on this link, it should take me somewhere Right. So I clicked on the link and let's see what pops up, y'all. I don't know. It's taking a
No,
long time.
when
It's
you,
taking a long
I
time. Let
have
me open it up to a browser. It's taking a long time, y'all. I'm gonna open up the
I have
browser.
I have a question. I do have a question. When people
Nothing.
reach out to people to help them, what's like what's the criteria? Like, what do you get to check? Right? What do you get to check? I don't get it.
But listen, can I just say that it did pop up about 10 seconds later. So here's a website, right? So now I can see the website. So when TeeCee was talking about having a lead generating tool in your bio, right? There has to be something that's guiding me there first. So when you have just a link, which could be a checklist like TeeCee's talking about, you got to be able to promote that checklist, and you have to find out where your audience is to know that, hey, I know you need this checklist, so let me provide it for you so that they can click. That could be anything from providing information in your content. So you can literally do a live, you can do a post, you can do an audio room, you can do a live stream, right? And every single time you do something like that, which is all marketing activity, you're able to provide resources for people. So when you're having a conversation like TeeCee and I, we just talking, okay? And we're having a great conversation about what people would probably need to correct in their business. And what it does is it gets people to think like, well, am I doing that in my business? Is my business working for me? Am I being productive that way? And if you're being honest with yourself, and I'm talking about sustainable businesses, not someone who's just doing this as a hobby, because of course you're not going to care. You're just going to chase the money. I'm talking about people who are like, I really want to make sure that my business is sustainable and foundational. Like who I just got off of the live with, Miss Beatrice. Okay. Beatrice is no joke. She's going to get the work done, and she's going to actually look and say, how do I do this and how do I make it sustainable? One of the things that I remember her telling me was, Allegra, oh my God, when I went to my website, I forgot to take down one of the things on the banners because it was still saying something for the last holiday sale. And that was one of her lead generating tools, right? A banner on her website. It gives people to subscribe. She also wanted to make sure that, she was using her social media. I'm using her as an example because I just got off the live with her. If y'all were listening to the live after me and TeeCee did it, she's who I was on with. And I wanted to amplify that because here's what happens when you're obedient to the process of running your business. You start to realize how many places you can market that thing. Right? You start to realize, well, listen, if I'm doing a checklist for people who are, say, for example, I want to work with someone to open up a restaurant. And they're like, man, I wish I knew how to open up a restaurant. I wish I knew how to get this done. And I have years and years of experience. I'm going to create checklists on, what to do from start to finish, or what to do in the startup phase, what to do while you're running the business, how to manage your team, how to, manage your cooks in the kitchen and expo. I'm going to tell you what kind of things to do with your menu, right? These are all different formats of lead magnets, because as I'm looking for information on building my business, I'm going to come to you like, oh, you got all the juice. Because now I get to look at the checklist and start to build things out. Now, when, they get enough information from me, they're going to say, Allegra, this is a lot of information and I think I can do it. Can you support me and can you help me build this restaurant now? Right? And that doesn't just come from someone clicking on a link because they just found your Instagram somewhere and they're like, oh, okay, let me just download the checklist, right? It's not magic. It's not magic. People won't do that. You have to reach out. You have to go out in the world. I'm going to tell you one person that inspires me so much about, lead generating is Steve Jobs. I don't know if y'all remember when Steve Jobs first started Apple. It wasn't even called Apple, but he started in his garage. He was a geeky kid, and when he got his first deal, he had made, I think, 150 calls that day. 150 calls. And most of us are like, well, they'll just find us online. I put the link in my bio. It's okay. Hopefully someone will click on it.
We don't want to work.
We don't want to work?
We don't want to work. We
just
want
to now.
we
It's about to slap somebody. Oh, Marjorie says she never heard of a funnel coach. See, I knew I wasn't the only one. So, shout out to the people who are making up names, because honestly, there's a lot of there's a lot of that. And as a business coach that works on the overall business, like when I came into the industry, y'all, this is what I saw. Because I've been in business for 18 years now. So I saw that there were a lot of segments of business coaches, right? Oh, I'm a business coach, but I only work on this. I'm a business coach, but I only work on this, right? So now I have to go to this business coach for this. I got to go to this business coach for that. I got to keep going to all these different people to figure out how to run my business. And I just never heard of that before. Just honest. So, because, I've always worked with people for the overall business. And if you needed that support in your business from something that I don't provide for your overall business, what I'm going to do in my business is I'm going to get a resource, someone who does that. I'm going to partner with them, like TeeCee. TeeCee works in your business, not on your business. So I'm working on your business while TeeCee is in your business. And you think I won't partner with TeeCee to help my clients when they're struggling? And so we're really lazy about getting the support for the clients. We're really lazy about making sure that we have the right lead generating tools, and also making sure that we're working those lead magnets. And what does that look like? So TeeCee, you gave an example. Someone else said that there's no such thing as a funnel coach that they've ever heard of. Shout out to anyone who has. If you have, drop a 1 in the chat.
Yeah,
I would love to see.
see, let me tell you. The way people cook up names and titles, I don't know. See, sometimes I don't like to use the titles. I just want to tell you what I do, right? Because then what I do, you decide what you want to call me, right? Um, there is a problem with, uh, bringing half cooked meal to the table, right? It's either it's cooked or it's not, right? Don't go saying, I don't know of, other people like business coaches, because I'm not one, right? But you see, when it comes down to funnels, systems, marketing campaigns, all of those things that literally get your hands dirty, right? I love it. It's sweet. Like literally, you can see my laptop. Like I could stay in the office because it's very interesting. It gets me all motivated, right? Now, in scenarios like that, somebody comes to tell me that somebody is saying this, and somebody like, let us try not to confuse ourselves. We're going into 2024, right? Your business needs clarity. You need that clarity double before even your business. Because if you're not clear, if you're all over the place, like you're going to this person for A, B, C, going to another person for D, going to another person, when you can get A, B, C, D, E to Z from just one person, right? Because then it saves you from running everywhere. It saves you from being confused, right? Now, for me, I feel like when you're listening, so it's this thing that says, too many cooks, spoils the food, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So we need to be very careful, right? Like that scenario that happened to, she's still my client, right? She's still my client. I'm sure if she watches this, she'll be like, she might be suspecting. Obviously, I'm not calling names, but
Just FYI, we talk about our clients. I do case studies, and my clients know. I'm like, I'm putting you in a case study, because in order for us to really be effective in our business, guys, we cannot hide the mistakes. We can't lie to you and say that this isn't happening. It has to be put out to the forefront. I'm one of those most transparent coaches where I will tell my clients that, hey, listen, what you just did, that's not going to pan out. And then I'll also tell them that I'm going to tell everybody else, because someone else needs to learn not only from their mistakes, but your mistake as well. And when I was in business, with my first year, y'all, my first 3 to 5 years, like anybody, I messed up a lot. Okay. I mean, I had horrible lead magnets. I was out there just doing what I knew to do. And there's so many different ways. I think back then we didn't have digital technology the way that we do now. It was more like paper, like brochures, business cards, in person, right? networking, things like that were powerful tools. And then they had email marketing that came out, which was constant contact at the time. That was big for us. We was like, wait a minute, we could blast like 100 people at the same time. Like that was big. And now, like I talk to people nowadays, TeeCee, and this blows my mind. I talk to people now and I'm like, set up your email marketing campaigns. We're going to do A, B, and C. And also I can, hey, I don't have to work on it with you. I can send you over to TeeCee. She's going to take care of it. Okay, she's going to set it up for you. Just pay her the money and she's going to set it up for you. We would rather spend our money going to Target and going to Walmart and spending money on Amazon. I mean, I literally watch people get very thrown in to this process of like, oh, like I'm doing my best in business when you really haven't done what was necessary, right? Like not only create the lead magnet, but work it. Working it means that I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to assert my KPI, key performance indicator. How many people do you need to talk to every day with that lead magnet? Right? Because law of averages is very clear, y'all. This is not like people don't like to kind of like run into these things, but numbers don't lie. And law of averages is like, to me, is the law of gravity. I hear people get very, very like sensitive about that because they're like, no, you just embody yourself and then you'll just attract the people to come to you. And I'm like, y'all are seriously broken mindset because business does not change just because you feel a certain way. You have to work the numbers. You have to get your information out to as many people as possible in a day. That's why you put things on automation. That's why when you have a good lead generation tool, you automate those emails, you automate that social media DMs, you go respond to the people in your comments that are liking your post. You go in Clubhouse and you go on LinkedIn and you look. Clubhouse, how many times do I go in Clubhouse and I go in someone's rooms that's talking about, hey guys, this is what I do. This is who I am. There's no link at the top of the room. There's no link in the chat. There's no call to action. So what did we just spend this hour here doing? Because I'm not going to go over to your social media just to click a link in your bio because you showed up on Clubhouse. No, I'm not. That's a whole nother 2 steps that I got to take outside of what I'm already doing. I'm going to leave your room and I'm going to go to the next person's room and I'm going to hear them talk for no reason. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have an opportunity for me at that moment, I'm not going to take it. And that's where we have to be very wise, right? This is why lead magnets and having a variety of ideas is so important because you have lead magnets all around you. I mean, there are people that when you watch your television, you see lead magnets. When you look online on social media, you see lead magnets every day. Like, I mean, they don't have to pay for it. Listen, I've had people reach out to me in the DMs all day long. I'm talking about, hey, I just reached out to you about 5 minutes ago. Did you see my link? And I'll be like, no, I didn't. And I'm not going to look at it till the end of the day. Have a great day. Right. But that one person that was like, oh, I've been looking for that. They're going to click the link. They're going to be like, thanks for reaching out because I didn't think that, anybody had that. One of the one examples I want to give y'all, and I'll leave it here because I was working with a client who was providing some things for nonprofits. Right. And we just started a nonprofit organization this year with Women into Networking. And of course, me being me, I'm like, where do I get the help? Somebody help. who do I gotta pay? Right. And so of course I went to my mentor. I went to SBA first. Okay. This is one thing I want business owners to start doing more. Get support. If you can't afford a coach, go to your local small business association. You take it for granted. You've been paying your taxes all your life and you've been paying the government all this time, but you're not going to take advantage of it. So literally there are people out there that will give you free advice that will help you get resources. And that's what I did. And my mentor was like, you need to do A, B, and C. And it got me all the way together in my nonprofit. Then I got stuck because I'm like, well, there's some things beyond that I really want to get more in depth with, right? That means I got to hire someone to do it for me. And when I went to go look for this resource, the first thing I thought about was my client. I'm like, oh yeah, she gonna get me all the way together, right? So here's the thing. When you're in business, sometimes you get to the point where you're like, I don't know, do I really want to do it, right? And when you get into that place where you're not showing up every day, where you're not able to provide what people need, they take a different route. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, I see you building, I see you doing it, but I don't have time to work on your delays. So while you're figuring that out and while you're working on your business, I'm going to go over here and I want to pay these people to do what they say they do because they're showing up with the lead magnet. They're showing up with the information. They're showing up with the actual solution and without hesitation. And when you're that confident about what you offer, and this is so interesting because once I did that, I actually got like, I don't know, it's like 3 different things done in one day. It was absolutely amazing. I was super productive. And the sad part is that someone missed out on the money. That's the sad part. And that's what we do. We tend to kind of dismiss the fact that we got to show up every day with whatever we have, whether it's a checklist, whether it's a guide, whether it's a consultation, whatever that is that's getting people into your space where they're giving you an exchange. I know Lashana was on earlier. She does an amazing job of making sure that people can text her with her SMS lead generation tool. I love that. Because if you're like, hey, listen, my audience don't have time to click a link and go to a website or to figure this thing out. They just want to text me because they're at their phones already. That's another way to gain lead generation. And I think that if you are very wise, you're not just stopping there, you're taking it to that next level. Because I was saying, what happens after you put that lead generation out there, TeeCee, and you just let it sit there? You said you have to always be collecting. You got to market that thing. And
Yeah.
then once you market that thing, now what happens next, TeeCee?
Well, it blows up. Okay, so I'm just saying this. Okay, so here's the thing, right? You're marketing your lead magnets. It's definitely going to keep going to the persons, right, that need it. Hopefully you have the right marketing strategy that is attracting the people that needs your lead magnets. Because if we have a business, right, it's important that we know that our followers are literally the people that will click on that link in your bio, right? The people engaging, the people liking, they're the ones that are going to click on that link in your bio. Now, if those people are not able to take further action aside from, oh, let me know what she's doing, and then I go do something else, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have clicks, you're going to have views, but no action, like no overall action taken, right? I will call it conversion rates, right? You realize that the conversion rates are really very low, and you'll be like, oh, people are viewing and all of that. What's happening? That's because, see, the people are just there, right? But they are not your ideal clients, right? And so you're marketing to the wrong people. You see, with your lead generation, it's important that you know that the first stage, right, in your lead generation, which is the awareness stage, is very important. Now, this is why it is very important. If the people that you're marketing to, right, are not, even if they're interested, but they do not have the, maybe the financial capability, or, see, they might even go into your email list and just take space and get you paying for your platform every single month. And they're not doing anything because they won't buy from you. They won't buy from you, not because they don't want to buy from you, but they are not your ideal client because they can't afford it. Right? And so it's an intentional, yeah, it's the truth. When people can afford to buy something from you, right? What this means is that you haven't profiled your ideal client effectively, right? Because your ideal client is somebody that is willing, ready, right? It might not be now, it might not be now, it might be in the future, right? And I say something that you can also have secondary ideal clients, meaning, okay, they can't buy from you, but they can refer your business, right? They can talk about your business to get more people in. Now, those are the people you're looking out for. Likes are good, right? Comments are amazing, but be sure that the people liking and the people commenting are either a direct sale, right, or a secondary one. That's if you're looking for conversion. If you're looking for people to, because like I said, it's in stages. Now you have people, you do the awareness, people are raving about your lead magnets. Be sure it is the right people raving about that lead magnets. Because if not, it's a waste of time.
Wait. TC, can we stop for a second? Because we gotta see when you said the ideal client, I think that that is so
Mm-hmm.
important to know because there's something in that business planning blueprint I was telling you about earlier on the Instagram live. When I first started AJCEO Business Coaching Group, that's all I used. One lead magnet. And I had a system where it was like 3 no's and a go. Okay. I would reach out to my lead magnet, like anyone who signed up for that lead magnet, I would reach out 3 times. Okay. And then I would let them go because they're in my sales funnel, right? So when
Yeah.
they get the emails, they're going to see what I'm doing. When they get the new offers and the discounts that I have behind the scenes, they're going to see that, right? And I've had it where, a year down the road, someone goes, you know what, Allegra, I've been following you for a year. I downloaded the business planning blueprint a year ago. I didn't really go through the whole thing, but I realized at this time that I really need to be serious about my business. So I'm going to hire you. That's a year later. And then there's been individuals that's like, I need to hire you right now. I need that hourly session. And that's another thing, I think that there's a whole nother area of this that we have to also touch on too. And we're going to do that down the line for y'all, because right
Yes.
now we're staying on the surface level to tell you how to start from the beginning, how to actually determine which lead magnet you really need to focus on, right? What's going to work best for you? And starting with knowing your audience, that's so key, because we said it in the last week that if you don't understand who you're talking to, and we did a room with Sarah in the Win community this past week where we actually dissected a client avatar, your ideal client avatar. And some of the things
Yeah.
that came out of that room was crazy, because we were not only talking about demographics, like, the gender, the race, the household
Mm-hmm.
income, the family status, right? Because if I'm working with women who are career driven, working 9 to 5s, in a certain industry, family, right? Got husbands, children, they have busy lives. They have busy lives. This is not a young teenage girl that's going to college that could just kind of do whatever. And the budget is different. The income is different because someone in college does not make any money, right? So there's
Mm-hmm.
things that you have to consider when you're looking at your ideal client to say, what kind of demographics do I need to look at? And then outside of that, there's geographics. Where are they located? Because if you let me tell y'all something. I've seen people promote online, and TC, you're a little bit of an exception to the rule, because I think Clubhouse gave us a real opportunity to really build our businesses with people outside of the country. I have clients in the UK, never had that before, would not have had that if I wasn't on Clubhouse, right?
True.
But based in the US, I also have to look at, well, are my clients in this state? Are they in multiple states? Are they in this city? What city has the most problems of this kind? Do you know that there are certain cities that you can look at the data and the statistics and see that most people in that city are having that same problem? But you got to do your research. And also outside of geography, outside of, because if you're not known in your local city, if you're not known, one of the best things that I've done is door-to-door sales, in person networking and sales, because when people see you physically in your local area, they actually feel more like they can get to know you, opposed to some random person online that's like, hey, I want to sell you a service. No, I know Allegra. Allegra lives down the street. I know Allegra. Her business is good because I know Bob that worked with her, and Bob lives there. And there's just certain things that people feel good about when they're right there. They can actually physically touch you, and they can get your services, and they know that you're just not a scapegoat. But there's been so many scams online, y'all, that you have to learn how to establish yourself well, both digitally and in the market in person. And what I really feel passionate about is that when we're doing door-to-door sales and sales calls and really getting personal like that, we get to know more about our ideal client. We get to really build that avatar and say, you know what, I thought I wanted to work with that person, but after talking with them, after really getting to know, like, there's only a limited amount of people in this market that want that. I might have to do something different. I might have to switch that up. And when you do that, you get an opportunity to really build from where you are. And I just want to leave it with this, because I know TC probably got a whole lot to say about this. But outside of that, we talked about psychographics. This was, oh my God, this was big, because when you're thinking about psychology, a person that you want to work with, sometimes you have to understand what kind of mindset they're on. I decided
Yeah.
that I don't want to work with anyone who, I mean, I work with people who start their business. So if you're in a 9 to 5 and you're looking to transition into the business world, I can be that coach for you too. But if you have issues around your mindset and you're not willing to do the work while you're in your 9 to 5 to get that transition, it's not going to work for you, because it takes a very a very strong mind to say, I'm going to get through this no matter what. I'm going to
Mhm.
overcome these challenges even when I feel like there's a risk that I have to take, because business is accumulated of calculated risks. We take
True.
them all the time. And so when you're in this space of, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm just not that coach for you, right? You have to go to someone who's going to work on your mindset. So I had to look at that in my audience and say, do I want to work with those type of people that have mindset issues? No, absolutely not. That is a psychographic. Do I want to work with people who aren't career driven or who aren't, focused? No, I don't. I want to work with people who are very focused. So, that also attributes to behaviors, right? I can teach someone how to do something, but I can't teach them how to have a good attitude. And so these are things that I had to build in my ideal avatar, so that when I go talk to someone, I can immediately know, according to my law of averages, if I need to even spend time with you, to even talk to you about my services first. If you're not even qualified for me to talk to you about my services, I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to just let you talk. I'm going to be like, okay, what do you do? I'm a business coach. Oh, really? I love that. Because you're not going to qualify. So there's no reason for me to have this conversation, but I will transfer you over to Ariana. Okay. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I know somebody that can help you. And in the end, y'all, we have to realize that that is the separation from personal to business. You can like someone and not have to do business with them. Okay. That is the difference. And when you have that psychographic and that demographic and that geographic put together in your client avatar, it makes you so laser focused on how to work on your law of averages. That's a big term, law of averages. Out of every, and this is never really going to change in the beginning, because you may get better with your law of averages, but in the beginning of you starting your business, if you make 10 phone calls, law of averages says that if you do that same pitch the right way and you actually are clear about your services and you know your audience, you're going to at least get one person to buy. So when we
True.
tell you to make sales phone calls and you are calling, and I've tested this. This is not something that I'm just saying because I read it out of a book. I literally went into a field, okay, at a sales job that I worked at years ago, and I practiced this every single day. Every single day. And every single day, I wrote down how many people I talked to, how many people said no, and how many people say yes. And do you know, every single time, law of averages played out. I taught the same thing when I worked for a company that had me teach young girls 16 and 17 years old how to be independent in their own right as far as wanting to start their business or have their careers. And I taught them the same thing. We were in the field and I would tell them, go talk to all those people. And they'd be like, what? Yeah, I need you to go talk to every single person that comes by your booth, every single person that you see. Why? Because you don't know who needs it. And when you are
Yeah.
limiting yourself, you're not doing that on your social media. You're not doing that in your emails. You're not doing that on your live streams and your audios. It's horrible, because you're literally like the girls that just let people walk by them, like standing there and you're not talking to anyone. So you have to kind of mimic that field type mentality where you're talking to everyone and you're counting your law of averages. I talked to 10 people. What did they say? How did that go? And I promise you, if you do that even on sales calls and you're like, I made 10 sales calls today, and you dissect that down, majority of the time you're going to get somebody to say yes. And that's the scary part, is that people are not ready for someone to actually say yes.
Hmm. That's true. That's so true. I think sometimes we think that what we're not ready for is the no, but the truth is what we're not ready for is the yes. And I think I've noticed that. So there's this client of mine. She's always like, um, when she first started, like she wanted to transition, and she's like from 9 to 5 to sensation. So she's like, you know what, TeeCee, I can't wait when I start making money. I can't wait when I get my first client. I can't wait when So we're done with the program. We launched the program, right? And the day she actually got somebody, not the clients, but the day she actually got somebody to book a discovery call, she almost went to panic attack. Like literally, she was like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh," and I'm like, "They've not." I didn't say that to her, but in my head, I'm like, "They've not even signed up." You're like, "You're not ready." Like it's not like you don't know what to do, but mentally, psychologically, you're not ready. So you need to be ready. Like she was like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" And I'm like, "Calm down. It's just a discovery call." They've not even said no or yes, right? Obviously, we are setting that structure for it to be a yes, but it's still just a call, right? And so just take it, just calm down. And she's like, "Oh, TeeCee, do we have it?" I'm like, all you need to do is show up and sell to them, because that's what your sales call is. Your sales call is not to baby them. Your sales call is meant. That's why it's called a sales call, to sell. Somebody said to me, "I don't know why people are so salesy on a sales call," and I'm like, "Salesy on a sales call? It's a sales call. That's what it's meant to be. A sales call. Like, why are you on a sales call and you don't want to hear the next person? No, why did you book for the call in the first place?" Like I'm just wondering, asking myself, I do know why I love Clubhouse. It's the fact that, when I'm on the stage and like getting people on the stage is always very fun, right? Because then you get people saying very interesting things. And like that day, I remember, this particular person coming up stage is saying, "Oh, I don't like it when people are so salesy. We book a call, we're supposed to get to how did she call it again? She said, we're supposed to get to know each other." And I'm like, know each other on my sales call? The reason why you booked that call is see, if I told you it's a tea chat, it's different. But this is a sales call and it was clearly written there. You filled the questionnaire, right? And so if what you're expecting is a tea chat, like it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to do that with you 15 minutes and you're not getting to the point. It's automatic, it just goes off, right? And so I said to her, I said, at the end of the day, we need to understand that, these things, going back to creating your lead magnets, these things don't just stop at you have these lead magnets, right? Some of us, we do not know that for us to get the outcome that we seek from our lead magnet, it needs to be set up properly. That was why I designed my lead magnet cheat sheet. So when Allegra told me she had like the 150 lead magnet ideas, I'm like, "Allegra, we're thinking alike." So you get those lead magnet ideas, you get my cheat sheets, right? Because you need the lead magnet ideas, right? But you also need to know how to set it up for success. Now that's where the cheat sheet is going to come up, right? Because basically I broke down step by step how it's a DIY, right? So you get to figure out what comes with what. Trust me, there's no how you go through that cheat sheet and you come to me and say your funnel coach says I should just create a landing page and people from nowhere will come and buy you. How? Right? It tells you step by step what to do, how to do what to do, because see, it's a process. Your lead magnet, your lead generation is a process, right? Now, if you don't do a certain thing first, imagine this. If you don't market, right, and people don't sign up, they would never get those follow-up campaigns. Now, the only reason those follow-up campaigns will come in, or rather we get triggered on, is because they already are in your list. Now, your follow-up campaign will keep sitting pretty and gathering dust until somebody comes in, right? And so you need to do the work to market. Tell people, like I'm telling you right now, that you need to set up your lead magnet for success, which is why you need to DM me the word cheat sheet. So I give you my lead magnet cheat sheet. Simple. right? And it's complimentary.
Wait,
Allegra like
listen.
to laugh.
I'm cracking up because you plug in and I love it. But it just dawned on me. We have to get out of here soon, y'all. So make sure that y'all DM us. We're gonna teach you in a 3-day masterclass how to really be good at moderating on live streams and audio. And the reason why we're doing this is because this is the future of marketing. Okay, we have a lot of things that are happening in the world where people are like, "Well, I don't have to be on social media. I don't have to do that." You don't have to do anything. But if you want to be successful, you're going to have to create a way for you to be seen and heard in ways where most people can find you, where they are. So if you have, because I did a little bit of research in the pandemic, and I was just afterwards too, and I said, let me see how many people are actually on. This is when we were heavy on Clubhouse. Remember that? It's
Yeah.
like it felt like everybody was gonna come out. I met Dr. Dre, I met Sonya Norwood, Brandy's mom. Like I met some celebrities, right? I met Les Brown. Like there was some real top celebrities there on Clubhouse, and it was fun. It was exciting. But I thought it was very interesting because I said, well, I wonder how many people are here because we spent a lot of time there. And
True.
if my audience is not there, then I have to find out where they are. And so I started to ask around, and I was talking to people outside of Clubhouse, and people would say, "Yeah, I really need a business plan. I would love to, hire you." And I would say, "Hey, I have, sessions and impacts that I do on Clubhouse. Are you on Clubhouse?" "No, what's that?" "Okay." Seriously, this is crazy. Went to the SBA because SBA, if you don't know the Small Business Administration, because my mentor is actually a mentor there, I'm going to sign up to be a mentor myself, right? I'm working my way up to that because that is another lead generating tool. Because at the end of the day, if people are finding me in ways where they're like, oh my gosh, she's helping people for free, that's word of mouth. They're going to be like, yeah, Allegra helped me with this. My mentor helped me with that. They may not go through the SBA score. They may go directly to me. And now I'm telling them, okay, yes, I can support you, but it's going to cost you. Absolutely. And so at the end of the day, I started to realize that you can't be online only. You got to diversify your marketing strategy because people in the real world are really looking for you too. And sometimes we're not paying attention to that. And TeeCee, we're going to talk about this going down the line. That's why when we teach you guys how to work your technology functions, I think that's a real big problem for a lot of people is like, how do I, get through this application and how do I set up this event, right? TeeCee, weren't we going through that? When I was like, TeeCee, I can't find out how to add you as a host on the LinkedIn audio. And you're like, just do that. Just add me as a host. I'm like, I can't find it, right? And that can be frustrating
Yeah.
for people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be walking through all of these things from LinkedIn to Clubhouse, and we're not going to do Twitter, but Facebook does have, their live streams as well. We are also on YouTube. So anywhere where you can do a moderation, anywhere that you can get on a stage where this is what's so crazy, y'all. Before this was available, you didn't have this opportunity to talk to this many people around the world. You couldn't just get on a live. You would have to pay someone thousands of dollars to get on their TV station, to get on their podcast, to get on whatever platform that they built. And then you got to pay to get on there and just to get your lead generating tools into the public eye. Now you have multiple channels that you can go live all day, every day, 24/7. And because it's available, we're like, okay, you got a lead magnet and you're not making money. Why not? I don't know. It's like, okay, well, let's ask you a question. How many lives did you do? I didn't do any
True.
lives. Okay. How many times did you show up on an audio stream? I don't know what to say. Well, this is the thing. And this is what we're going to go over because TeeCee, because this is what I feel like the problem kind of lies with some people is that they want the lead generation, but they don't have anything to offer after. Like
Yeah.
I want people to come to me, but once I make that offer and they want to have the sale, I don't have a step-by-step process on how to work with them. I don't have any offers or products or services that can clearly say I can just go ahead and give to you and it's going to be a seamless process for them. And that's where the nervousness comes in, and that's why I became a business coach. Because there's no way that you can operate a business, right? If you
Yeah.
don't have a structured approach on how to bring someone to A to Z, from A to Z. How do they start working with you? And how does that process finish, and what time frame, and how are you going to work with these people, right? That's a structure. And if you don't have that structure, a lot of us get very lost because then we don't show up. As much as we like to make checklists and guides and all these great things, we don't show
What?
up because we don't feel confident in what we're
Yeah.
offering. And so me and TeeCee are going to work you through that. We're going to actually look at the process with you and say, where do you really find yourself lost in? Because there's so many places. There's the lead generation stage, don't know how many leads you need or what your audience needs. And then there's the back end of the business. It's not set up. It's not enough there to get you confident to say, well, listen, I tested, tried and true. I know that these people are going to be successful when they go through my program. I know that they're going to love this product. I know that they're going to give me a great review. And that confidence is really what takes someone from the lead generation stage to the
Yeah.
sale, all the way to the end of giving you that testimonial so you keep getting more business. And we're going to talk about that in the next live and moving forward. TeeCee, is there anything that we missed today?
No, I love it, and I feel like maybe next week, we can chip in what next, because like you said, most times it's because we do not know what next, right? We do not know, we do not feel like we're ready enough to accommodate these clients. And maybe that's why deep inside our hearts, we're not able to promote and market what exactly we're good at. Like, we're good. We've got it, right? We just need to tell the world and tell people that need us that, hey, I'm available to provide you with this product. I'm available to provide you with this service, right? And so, yeah, structuring your offers, structuring your products, structuring the back end, right? Just so it's not only because you need a system, it's not only because you need your back end streamlined, it's because you need to stay confident. It's because we don't want you to get panic attack. It's because we don't want you to, you see, oh, somebody just signed up, and then you go like, what do I do? Like, you're off, right? All because you're scared. You don't know what to expect next, right? And so I'm excited, but please do this. We have limited seats for this masterclass, and as much as possible, save your seats, right? Save your seats before next year, because the seats are really very limited, right? And we're going to be breaking this down, giving you resources to figure out your next step, right? We're not just going to leave you after knowing all of this good stuff or showing it to you. You have implementation resource to guide you through your next step, right? And so this particular masterclass is a 3-day serious masterclass, right? You don't want to miss it. You want to secure your spot before next year. Because rate actually, I'm looking at these things like it literally might close out before even next year. So take advantage of it, okay? Take advantage of it as much as you can. So that's it. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone. I don't know if it's about right now, but Allegra,
No,
over to
we're done. We're done. And I hope you all have an amazing night and just kind of contemplate on what we said, because some of this conversation I think can hit really close to home for some people. It can really like hit the heart. I know for me, I've gotten checked. So I still get checked. Like my mentor checks me all the time, and it don't feel good. It doesn't feel good to know that maybe something I'm doing is not really working the way that I need it to. Maybe I'm not really ready for that, right? And so that's why we want to make sure that you get on the wait list so that we can actually prepare you for, hey, what kind of questions do you have? What do you need to really walk through? Because we are going to have a way to walk you through this process from beginning to end, because you do have to have lead generating tools for your business. Like I said, we can create as many as you need for your business, right? Because we're going to help you identify your audience. But most importantly, you're going to have to learn how to take that lead generator, and you have to take that lead magnet, and you have to know how to present that to your audience. And then you got to know where to present that to your audience. And then you have to know how to run them down that sales funnel. And then all of this is going to start with making sure that you show up on the most viable platforms in the most viable ways. Because if you're on live streams and audio, here's the thing. People no longer look at static posts. They don't care about your ad sticking up on a window somewhere. They don't care about that. They care about what are they showing me? Okay. That means visually. Are you being present on live streams and audio, and are you getting ready for what's to come? Because this is all archived. All this that we're doing is stuff that people next year, when me and TeeCee are out there with these larger corporations, helping them survive out there in the world, right? While we're doing that, y'all are going to be back here, or someone else, not y'all, but someone else, or whoever's watching this, right? You're going to be watching this a year later, because this is information that's live where people get to feed off of it and say, oh, you know what, I need to get that, I need to watch that again. But the masterclass won't be here.
Yeah.
So take advantage of the wait list, right? And we're going to give you some information moving forward to see how we can serve you, answer any questions you have on these lives moving forward. And the actual masterclass is going to be the last week of January. So we're going to do it on the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. And we want to give you enough time to really cultivate and experience for yourself, to think about this and actually be honest with yourself. What areas of my business do I really need to work on and refine? It's okay to go back to the drawing board and to say, you know what, I thought I was doing it right, but after really looking at it, I want to fine tune that thing. And that's what a lot of people are doing. When I just talked to, shout out to Beatrice, because she was listening, because I was saying to her early in the live, she was very honest. She said, honestly, I've been in this for 27 years. I operated it like in this way, but once I realized I want this full time, I want to create a legacy, I want to be happy working in my business and not sacrificing for someone else's business. That if that's your desire, then you want to really make a sustainable business for yourself, and we're going to help you do that. All right, let's get out of here, TeeCee. We'll come back on next week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we are, yeah. The holidays will be over by then. And then after the new year, we'll come back with the series as well. We're going to continue this series because I feel like this is going to take a lot of layers for y'all. We know what it's like to run a business. I'm the only, like I just told in an interview, I realized I'm the only full-time entrepreneur in my immediate family. So no one is like, hey, this is how you do it. So a lot of you are the same way, right? You don't have anyone that can really tell you how to do stuff. Now they can tell you, okay, well, that sounds crazy. And, now you're trying to prove a point, but you need people around you that are going to validate what you're doing and tell you that you're doing it the right way. And we're going to supply that support for you. All right, y'all, have an amazing night.
Good night.